Durban. Our reporter Jayed-Leigh Paulse is there monitoring the situation. Jayed-Leigh, what are you witnessing there?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Blaine, and good afternoon to the viewers. I am at a Phoenix Child Centre as well as a Women's Centre for Abused Women, and we're expecting the Minister of Social Development, that is Lindiwe Zulu, to come through, as well as the Minister in Presidency for Women. They will be conducting oversight visits to various centres here in KwaZulu-Natal, but also speaking to family members who've experienced losses, especially those two children who were found last week murdered, brutally murdered, Blaine, and killed in KwaMashu. She's actually en route now to the centre, and she's going to be speaking to the women, motivating them, but also speaking to the centre director. And I am joined by her right now. That's Aruna Chetty. Aruna, you know, over the past few weeks we've seen several GBV cases here in the province. I imagine that during the lockdown period you've also experienced quite an influx at this particular centre in Phoenix. I'm not going to name it for the sake of some of the victims who were presiding here. Just take us through some of the numbers that you have seen trickling in over the course of these months.
Okay, in terms of our shelter, it's a shelter for abused women and their children. Sometimes the shelters don't take children, but we do take the children. Because when a woman rushes out at any time when she's abused, we open 24/7. So often she would go to the police station, you know, and she'll get admitted here. It could be whatever time. We've had lots of women coming in with their children during the lockdown period. We were very traumatized in that time because we lost a client and a house mother during COVID. So it was very traumatic for everybody that works here. But we were open 24/7. We had stopped the intake just to curb, you know, in terms of sanitizing. So we were not admitting clients until we were COVID-free, and then we started admitting clients again. So we have seen approximately 20 to 30 women that came during that time.
Now, I've just spent some time with some of the victims of GBV, and they've told me some of the harrowing stories and ordeals that they've been through: abuse by the hands of their partners, abuse by family members, emotional abuse, physical abuse. The women that come here, what trends do you see coming out of their stories, especially when they're speaking to social workers here at the centre?
Okay. Many women, you know, in this COVID time, you think home is the safest place, and we were all expected to stay at home. But when a woman that's been abused on a daily basis, that's the worst place for her. You must understand, because that's not a safe home anymore. Because you are supposed to stay at home, a family is supposed to be caring and loving, yet we have domestic violence and serious domestic violence. Remember, when a woman is being abused, the children are also affected, even if they are not abused, you know. But just watching their mum getting abused is very traumatic for the children. So often when the women come in, we admit the children as well. We have a full-time social worker that's based at this facility. So she does therapy with the children, she does therapy with the women. She gets involved in empowerment programs. We find employment at the moment. We have lots of clients that are gone out to work because we found them jobs. We try to get them to a stage where they're independent, even if they're reconciling with their families, or they're going to be living independently before they leave the facility.
This is basically a temporary solution just to assist those women that are experiencing GBV at home.
Yes, it's temporary, but often we can keep women up to 6 months. But often they're here longer if they haven't resolved, you know, some of the issues. And it's difficult in this time to find jobs as well. But we're lucky, we partner with lots of, businesses where we can get jobs for them. And so at the moment, a lot of our clients are out working.
Now, safety is also paramount, and I know that many of the clients that are based here do not want to be known, families to know where they are. Just talk us about the safety of women that come into these shelters, especially when they are abused by their partners, violence, physical abuse. Just take us, how does that work?
Okay, this facility is very confidential. Like there's no names on outside. Of course, the neighbors know that this facility is for abused women. But when clients come in, we sign a confidential agreement with them not to divulge addresses of the place, because we have had lots of situations where husbands find out if their wives are here and they'll come out and perform. So we have a very good relationship with the police, the South African Police Services. So if there is that kind of situation, they are contacted immediately, So, but it's a very safe environment. We try and keep it that way.
Thank you so much for your time. That was Aruna Chetty. She's the director of one of the centers here in Phoenix. Unfortunately, I cannot name the particular center, but doing absolutely amazing work here in Phoenix, helping abused women and children, getting them back into society once they have been victims of gender-based violence. Over the course of these weeks, Blaine, we have seen a rise, an increase of domestic violence, gender-based violence. We've seen several children murdered in KwaMashu. We've seen a 4-year-old also brutally murdered by her uncle. There's just so many harrowing stories that have come from the province, and I imagine that Minister Lindiwe Zulu is here to find out what exactly is going on and also to assist in any way she can. It's back to you in studio.
Yeah, some of the stories that you're mentioning, no doubt haunting. The pernicious scourge of gender-based violence and femicide very much in the spotlight. We'd like to hear what the Minister has to say, what she hears with regards to the situation where you are. Jayed-Leigh Paulse live for us, and Dabe Kumalo, thank you very much indeed, guys, for your report. We'll come back to you a little later on.